Hi, my name is Aerica Karriem, your joint venture connection coach, where I teach you all the ins and outs of how to get people to say yes to promote you so that you can increase your exposure and multiply your income. Today I have a very, very special guest, Toni Harris. She is the turnaround queen. She's the author of Sometimes You Have to Take Drastic Steps in Order to Turn Your Life Around. How are you today, Toni?
I am wonderful, Aerica. Thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity for us to to know one another with the world listening in.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on with me. Now, I read the beginning of your book, and that is why I asked you to come on with me, because a lot of my listeners, they really need to know how to take drastic steps, and they're sometimes stuck in fear, and they just need someone to help them boost their self-esteem or whatever they need, that mindset to get out of that whatever thing that they're going in, whatever they're going through. So,
right.
Speak about your drastic steps versus your baby steps, and why taking drastic steps is so very important to you.
Well, it's funny that this whole drastic step platform came about because I went to a National Speakers Association meeting, and they were giving all of us a couple of minutes to speak on the fly. And the lady asked me what my title for my talk was. And I was like, I don't have a title, but I knew what I was going to speak about. And so she said, you got to have a title. So on the fly, I said, sometimes you have to take a drastic step. And it stuck. What I was speaking about at that time was my weight loss journey and how I had lost, me and my husband had lost over 150 pounds, and then I had to take a drastic step. And so that's how that whole platform came about. But then when I started to think about it, my life has been one drastic step after another, and that has served me well and helped me to become successful, and also has helped me to help other people to become successful. And so when I think about taking drastic steps, first of all, the word drastic sometimes has a negative connotation. People think you only take drastic steps out of desperation, and sometimes we are desperate, like I was in my weight loss journey. But then sometimes we just have to do something different than we've done before, and that's where your drastic steps comes in. So I talk to or hear motivational speakers say all the time, just take little baby steps. Your coaches, take baby steps to get where you're going. And while, let me tell you, taking a baby step is better than not moving at all, because it is not good to be stuck. Sometimes we just have to jump into the deep end of the pool and just go for it. And usually it's calculated after you've taken some baby steps. But bottom line is, baby steps move you slowly, drastic steps. And when I'm speaking live, I actually demonstrate this, and it's amazing how far I can get across, how fast and how quickly I can get across the stage taking drastic steps versus taking itty-bitty baby steps. And when you parallel that in your life, you can see how doing something different, something drastic, something outside your comfort zone will help you to be able to reach your goals.
Okay, you're absolutely right. Now, what is your life-changing drastic step?
Oh my goodness, I've had so many. I dubbed myself the turnaround queen, but I should have also dubbed myself the queen of drastic steps, because my life is one drastic step after another. But I'll tell you my story that I actually wrote about. Here's my book. Sometimes you have to take a drastic step to turn your life around. But on the back of the book is my picture, my before picture. See that? That was the picture that started it all for me. I actually received that picture in the mail. One of my coworkers so kindly mailed me that picture, and to this day, I don't know who it was. If I remember correctly, it didn't even have a return address. But they mailed me that picture, and I thought to myself, who is this? This is not me. And I remember taking that slow walk from the mailbox inside the house. And when I got in the house, there was a commercial for a weight loss center playing. And I thought to myself, I've heard this commercial 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. And something that day said, pick up the phone. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking, I ain't trying to go to no weight loss center, and something said, pick up the phone. I called them, and that afternoon I was in their office. I didn't know where the money was coming from. I didn't know what I was even doing, but I knew that picture. It showed me I needed to pick up the phone. So that first drastic step was picking up the phone and going to a weight loss center. Well, my husband and I lost over 150 pounds together. Ebony Magazine did a story on us in February 99. Look it up. And it was the best time of our life. That story came out during our 10th wedding anniversary, and it was just awesome. We lost a whole person between us. But I took another drastic step in June of 2000 and became a financial advisor. I was recruited from Texas to Florida, and was promised that I'd be able to make a 6-figure income. And for a little old chocolate girl with a high school diploma, that sounded very good to me, and I was ready for a change. So I took the drastic step, became a financial advisor, and everything I was promised when I was recruited did not exist. Aerica, I was mortified. I was like, what decision am I going to make? Am I going to pack up my family and move back to Houston where I'm comfortable? Or am I going to stay here in Florida and figure it out and make it work? And so, if you remember, June of 2000 was the absolute worst time for someone with no experience to start in the financial services field. Coupled with the fact that I'd moved long distance, the fact that I'd started a career that I didn't know anything about, and the fact that I was pretty much not told the full truth when I was recruited, I had to really take some drastic steps. So at that time, I started to drive 36,000 miles my first year to be successful as a financial advisor. And so I was doing my thing, making it work, but I was eating in my car, Aerica. So what do you think happened to my weight? I gained it all back. And so I was mortified. After being in Ebony and really being successful, I really was hurt. I was upset with myself. I was disappointed. I was thinking, I'm a failure. What am I going to do? So after much research, soul searching, interviewing people, talking, in 2004, I had gastric bypass surgery, and I've kept the weight off for 8 years now. And that was drastic, having a surgery, putting yourself under the knife. It was a drastic move, but for me, it was probably one of the best moves I've made in my life.
So tell me about the results of taking drastic steps. What is your results now?
Well, as a result of, in that story that I just told, I told you a bunch of drastic steps right then in a couple minutes, from getting the picture in the mail, calling the weight loss clinic, being in Ebony Magazine, moving from Houston to Florida, becoming a financial advisor, driving 36,000 miles. And there was a lot, having gastric bypass surgery, all of those things. There was success in all of them. I did make the 6-figure income. I have kept off 100 pounds in 8 years. And, by having the surgery, there's no guarantees that you're going to be successful with it. There are a lot of people who have the surgery, gain the weight back, or never get the weight off. And I've been healthier than I've ever been. It's changed my life in a lot of ways. And it's given me the confidence that I've needed to be able to do other things and be successful in other areas. So, that's just a snippet of the drastic steps that I have taken and I have helped a lot of my clients to take as a result of, stepping outside of their comfort zone. So the result is that I'm happier. Life isn't perfect. I'm having, some challenges now. My first husband passed away as a result of high blood pressure and diabetes. He also gained his weight back, and he ended up passing away as a result of it. And so that also shows what happens when you don't take a drastic step. But life is good, and you learn to make lemons out of lemonade, and that's a phrase that we hear all the time, or make lemonade out of lemons, I'm sorry. But that's a phrase we hear all the time, and the truth is, lemons are very sour, but if you can add a little bit of sugar, you can really, be refreshed. And so that's what taking drastic steps have done for me.
Now, Toni, if you had to do it all over again, would you redo it? Would you do it again? Absolutely. Even though I've gone through some very difficult times, I have grown, I have learned, and yes, there is nothing that, even the drastic steps that I've taken that haven't turned out the way I wanted them to, I've learned and grown as a person in order to become a better person for the future. And so, yes, I would continue and I would take drastic steps all over again. Okay, now what advice would you give my listeners or anyone out there that sees this interview? What type of advice would you give them to take their drastic steps?
Well, the first thing I do is tell them to figure out where they want to go. What's the vision? When I have regained my weight, I knew what it looked like for me to be the size that I wanted to be and be healthy the way I needed to be. And so I knew, the vision. And so the first thing I would tell them to do is establish the vision. Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? Why are you wanting to do it? Another drastic step I'm going through right now is that I'm in school. I'm at University of Phoenix. I'll be graduating in September. Yay! It took me 28 years to graduate from college. So even though I was successful financially, I lost my job and realized that I did not have that piece of paper. And so I went back to school at 43 years old and am getting my first degree. And so the thing I would tell them is to just know your vision, know where you're headed, and then do your research. Find out, take the baby steps is doing the research. When I was going through the gastric bypass process, I interviewed doctors, I went to seminars, I talked to people who had the surgery, I read and I did my research in order to be able to make my dream come true. And I do that with all of my major decisions, but eventually, I think, you can't get paralyzed by analyzing. And so eventually you just have to say, okay, this is a step I'm getting ready to take. Here it is. Let's do it.
Right. Your story is so awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Now, Toni, everyone knows that when they come on my show or I interview them, I give them 3 trivial questions. Dum. Are you ready?
I think ready or not, here they come. Go.
Here they come. Okay. So give me 3 words to describe Toni Harris. Like, who are you? What are your 3 characteristics that you want us to know about you?
I am, the first word is tenacious. One of the things that when I first heard that word and it used to describe me, I actually was offended because I didn't know what the word meant. And then when I looked it up, it said holding on like a pit bull. And I did not want to be associated with something negative like a pit bull. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? That does describe me. When I have been met with many challenges trying to figure out how to make things work, I stick with it until I get the job done. And so tenacious Toni, that's a good description for me. The second thing is that I'm very, very honest. Almost to a fault. I'm the girl that will give the change back when the clerk gives you too much money. So, but I am very honest, and I'm honest with myself. I'm honest with my clients, which is really important because when they hire me as a coach, they don't need someone who's going to pacify them. They need someone who's going to tell them like it is. And so I'm very good at telling people with tact, but telling them like it is to get them moving forward. The key is to keep moving forward. And then the last word I would say is I am friendly and fun. So those are two words, but they go together. I'm very friendly, and I'm a connector of people, and I enjoy meeting new people and having fun.
Okay, sounds great. Now, Toni, you said that you traveled around the world. You've been to many places. So what is your favorite place that you're dying, just waiting to get back to?
Well, I have not been to some other continents, but I have been in the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, Alaska, Hawaii, and by far my most favorite place to travel has been Whistler, British Columbia. And for those of you who don't know where that is, it's about a 2-hour drive outside of Vancouver in Canada. It's the most beautiful place I have ever been to. And I am really, really, really wanting to get there again. But it's so majestic. It's so peaceful. I tell people all the time, God lives right there, because it just brought, creation to me, and just brought a serenity to me that I haven't really experienced since I've been there. So, and I've been a lot of great places, but Whistler, British Columbia is the most beautiful place. And that drive from Vancouver to Whistler is breathtaking. So, yeah, and I'm dying to get back there. So.
Okay, great. Okay, and so the last trivial question is, if you could meet anyone in the world right now, who would that be?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Anyone in the world right now? Well, you know what? Since you said right now, I'm going to go with a current event. And you know that Gabby Douglas just won the gold medal last week for gymnastics. And I'm so excited and proud of someone who has gone after their dream. But if I could meet anyone, it would be her mother, Natalie Hawkins. Natalie really impressed me because she took a drastic step, let her baby go across country 3,000 miles to live with people she did not know, I'm sure to pay a whole lot of money to not even know if her child would be able to achieve her dream. So, I'm all about drastic steps, and that's the ultimate sacrifice that a mother can make, and that is to, go for the unknown, take a drastic step, not knowing if your baby was going to be able to stick with it or not. And we know it turned out to be gold for them, and it will be gold for them going forward. But, that's the ultimate drastic step. So I am looking to not only meet her, but I would love to have her to write my foreword for one of my next drastic step books, and that is taking drastic steps with your children to turn your children around. That would be an honor for me to meet her. So if any of you know her, she can get in touch with me and make sure that she knows that, what Gabby did is incredible and the work she put in, but Gabby wanted to quit and her mom would not let her quit. That was drastic. I'm sure she wanted her baby to come home. But again, the sacrifices that they have made have paid off immensely. So being that that's a current event, that's the person I'm anxious to meet. And if any of you can make that happen, I'm here for that.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Natalie Hawkins. We're looking for you, Natalie. Okay, now, Toni, what type of upcoming events do you have? Coaching programs, live events? What do you have coming up? What's in your future?
Well, I do. I have a couple of really great speaking engagements coming up. I'm speaking in October at the Katy, Texas ABWA chapter conference. So we're going to talk about taking drastic steps financially there. I also have a new coaching program that I'm launching, and that actually starts now, but it's going to be relaunched on a monthly basis, and that is take drastic steps to turn your business around. And so I'm helping business owners, entrepreneurs, to take some drastic steps to do something out of their comfort zone to be able to turn their business around. So I'm excited about that as well.
Okay. Now, how can my listeners and the world get to Toni Harris?
I just love the internet because it does make you a global person. So you can get to me through my landing page, which is Toni, Toni-Harris.com, and there you can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can see my blog and my website. And then my email address is Toni@ToniHarrisSpeaks.com. Again, that's Toni, Toni, @ToniHarrisSpeaks.com. So Natalie, if you're listening, email me. I'm ready to talk.
Okay, well, Toni, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate you, and I'm one of your fans, girl. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, and the feeling is mutual, and so I want my listeners to know that they can continue to take drastic steps today to turn their life around tomorrow. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, holler. Bye.
Okay, now, I'm Aerica Karriem. I'm at www.makingmillionswithjvpartners.com. Again, that's www.makingmillionswithjvpartners.com. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Until next time. Bye-bye.